Protests are a big part of American history. This country started with a protest, the Boston Tea Party. It sparked the American Revolution. Peaceful protests are so important that they're protected by the First Amendment. Women protested for the right to vote. MLK marched on Washington with 250,000 people behind him. The Civil Rights Act was passed the next year. In the 1960s and 70s, college campuses were packed with students protesting the Vietnam War. Some protests were peaceful, some were violent, and some turned deadly.
William was killed in the confrontation between National Guardsmen and students protesting the war in Vietnam at Kent State University. Joe Lewis was shot twice that day, as was Alan Canfora. Both survived and feel it necessary to remember the 4 who died, understanding it could easily have been them.
It was a tense time. Troops coming home were called baby killers. Young men were petrified that they might be ripped out of the classroom and sent to die in a jungle. So they protested. Civil rights, women's rights, anti-war. These movements changed the course of history. And today, college kids want to be in the history books too, but they don't know what to protest. Segregation is illegal, there's no draft, and women have more rights than us. Sure, there's problems, crime, fentanyl, Chinese balloons, but these kids don't care about any of that. So they protest words, feelings, and isms. At Connecticut College, students locked themselves in a building for 10 days. Why? Because they wanted more money for the, quote, Division of Institutional Equity and Inclusion. I don't know what that means. I know what make love, not war means, but not that. At Stanford University, the diversity dean, yep, that is a thing, teamed up with students to heckle a judge. The judge was an invited guest. Why'd they heckle him? Well, because the judge misgendered a pedophile who transitioned to a female so he could go to a woman's prison and assault more people.
So you've invited me to speak here, and I'm being heckled nonstop. And I'm just asking for an administrator to sign.
But not all protests are peaceful. At the University of California, mostly peaceful protesters tried to shut down Charlie Kirk. Antifa mixed in with the students, shot pepper spray, lobbed rocks, and tried to ram through a glass door to get at Kirk. A police officer was jumped and then thrown to the ground, but the event went on.
They broke some windows, the terrorists did, outside to try to come in. People had things thrown at them. The whole place was spray painted. Tonight is a statement to them that they're the losers and that speech wins in America.
So why were these protesters so mad at Charlie? Was Charlie trying to send them to war in Vietnam? Segregate them? Deny them the right to vote? No. They were protesting Charlie Kirk because the media told them Charlie Kirk wanted to lynch trans people. The Sacramento Bee, a local paper out there, wrote this, quote, Charlie Kirk has called for the lynching of trans people, a comment that should warrant the cancellation of his speaking engagement at UC Davis. And then the head of the university doubled down. Listen.
Many of you have reached out to me and others regarding tonight's event, organized by the registered student organization Turning Point USA, or TPUSA, at UC Davis. Thank you for sharing your distress at a student group hosting a speaker who is a well-documented proponent of misinformation and hate, and who has advocated for violence against transgender individuals.
Now, Primetime knows Charlie, and that doesn't sound like something he'd say. So we looked around, and we couldn't find Charlie saying he wanted to lynch anybody, trans people, anybody. But the Sacramento Bee says Charlie said it here. Now, Charlie was talking to Riley Gaines, a Division I female swimmer who didn't feel comfortable swimming against a biological man. And not only swimming against a biological man, but changing in front of.
The NCAA allowed us as female athletes to, not even just allowed, they encourage us as female athletes to participate in Leah Thomas's sexual arousement and Leah Thomas's fetish. We had no idea we would be sharing a changing space with someone who was fully intact with male genitalia.
I blame the decline of American men. This never should have been, you should have someone should have just took care of it the way we used to take care of things in the 1950s or 60s. But, you know, as you have testosterone rates go down and men start acting like women and they don't do anything, then, hey, who's to say? Obviously, we've never advocated for violence on this program, nor is not the answer. And I encourage everyone to remain peaceful.
Now, I didn't hear Charlie Kirk say we should lynch trans people, did you? I heard Charlie Kirk say back in the day we used to have real men that would have stood up for what's right and not allowed biological men to swim against girls and get naked in front of them in the locker room. Well, we pushed the Sacramento Bee to explain themselves, and it looks like the Sacramento Bee never even watched the video. So they retracted it. Quote, some trans advocates on social media extrapolated from Charlie Kirk's comments that he called for trans people to be lynched, an accusation the Bee repeated. But a review of the video shows that Kirk never advocated for trans people to be lynched. In fact, he strongly denies the accusation. These notes have been added to the column. The Bee regrets its comments, and we apologize for any misunderstanding the earlier version may have caused. So a liberal newspaper didn't do their jobs as journalists and published hateful lies about a public figure and incited a riot. Charlie could have been hurt. An officer was hurt, and a ton of property was damaged. The Sacramento Bee needs to apologize for that, too. Reckless journalists are riling up angsty college kids for cash, basically. And these college kids are so tender, they read the paper and think it's true. And instead of protesting, the students should be partying, all right? Why are you screaming at Charlie when you should be on spring break? Socializing and soaking in the sun? Vitamin D is good for you. It helps with depression and stabilizes your mood. Follow the science. Antifa can use a little of that. Spring break kicked off this weekend in Florida. The students listened to Primetime's travel advisory and are staying away from Mexico. Now, Primetime's not saying these kids are making good choices, but we're saying their choices are better than Antifa's. You go to spring break to blow off steam. Students are hitting the gym beforehand. They're saving money for booze and hotel rooms. They have goals. Well, at least for a week they do. And if they set a fire, it's probably because they forgot to use an ashtray, not because they threw a Molotov cocktail. And if they punch a cop, it's probably because they're drunk, not because they wanted to fund. They do damage in the name of partying. Spring breakers aren't perfect, but Antifa can learn a lot from them. Take off all the black, get some sun on your chest, and make love, not war on Charlie.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.